Chihuahua. Apparently I need to get one of those little baby carriers. Put it on the front of me. Haul him around. We'll have to call him when they call him on The Hangover.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
The little kid that they were carrying.
Oh! Yeah! I don't remember what they called him. Are you joking? Can you?
Ooh, they're like creepies.
No.
Probably.
There's no creepies in there.
Okay. Okay.
Come all the way through. You can do it. You got lots of room.
No,
Yeah,
I'm not
come
doing
on.
it. Totally.
I could crawl through there now. I could see that I could easily crawl through there.
I'm not doing it. You can if you want.
Come on, don't be a chicken.
Are you videotaping?
Uh-huh.
Hi! No, not doing it. No. No, it's creepy. How am I going to get out the other end?
I'll help you.
I don't trust you. I have trust it. This is why I have trust issues. You're like, here, honey, let me hold your beer. Go try this. That's what you're not doing it. You can do it. Okay, I can't even get out right now.
Well, then come this way. It's easier.
No!
So we are downtown Forks, Washington, where I'm sure y'all know that is where the Twilight movies were filmed. Population here on the sign says, sorry, that's the GPS. Population on the sign says 3,580 people and 8.5 vampires, which was interesting. I'm not sure where the half vampire comes from. I guess Kevin was thinking it might be their little girl or something. Anyway, Forks, Washington, by the way, we just learned, did not know this, is the rainiest place in the United States. Period. Apparently they don't get rain for like, I don't know, 7 days. I don't know, it's insane. I would never live here, but it is interesting, and we will probably go geek out a little bit over some of the Forks stuff just because since we're here, but tiny little town, looks very quaint. Kind of interesting to come visit. We're gonna go head out to the beach now. They get like what, 12 feet? 12 feet of rain a year, not inches. They measure their rain like Montana measures snow, by the foot. Insane. But anyway, so we're gonna go find our campsite, and I think we're gonna go try to head out to the water because we're pretty close there.
One large piece of driftwood.
I kind of don't want to go out there.
So the community of La Push is right on the Pacific Ocean in Washington State, and it's about 14 miles or so from the town of Forks, Washington, where, of course, Twilight was filmed and most famously known for. But as you can see, this is an absolutely spectacular place, and the views are breathtaking. The sea stacks out in the water are awesome. This is actually called First Beach. There's 3 beaches that make up La Push, and this one here is the only one you can drive to. And the big pieces of wood that are brought in, literally timbers brought in from the waves, just show you how strong and amazing that those currents are. Very dangerous waters. And then we did drive on a little bit further, and we went to the place called Second Beach. And these are all located on an Indian reservation here in Washington. And Second Beach is the longest and flattest of the 3 beaches, and we did not go to Third Beach because you can only hike into that, and it was a couple-mile hike, and it was the end of our day, so we opted not to do that, but it was a very, very spectacular thing to see for sure. Well, good morning. Today is Saturday, and it's the morning after our first night sleeping in the van, and we are just heading out from the campsite where we stayed, which was on La Push Beach here in Washington State, and wasn't exactly the best campsite. It was more like camping with all your neighbors and together, and that's not usually how we like to go camping, but this was just a spur-of-the-moment trip, and we had no reservations, and apparently a lot of these places were booked that were like the state campgrounds and stuff. So anyway, it is sunny, which we're very happy about. In this area where we are, it's actually rainforest, and I don't know, they get 47 feet a year of rain or some crazy thing. So anyway, we're happy that it's sun shining. Pretty cool this morning. I think we woke up to, what, 45 degrees, although it was like, I think 75 or 80 yesterday, and then today is supposed to be somewhere around 65, I think. So we're heading out to a really cool place called
The Hoh Rainforest.
The Hoh Rainforest. And they have this thing called the Moss.
Hall of Moss.
Hall of Moss. So we're going to go check that out because we were told that it's just a place you got to go to when you're here. So anyway, first night in the van was super, super comfortable. We didn't have any heat in the van last night. Got a little cool. Like I said, I think I got down to about 45. So that would have been nice to have some heat. But we were just snuggled underneath the covers. And, you know, we just sort of rigged things up back here. I'm not sure if you can see back there very well, but that's actually the bed out of our house. We just literally carried our queen mattress out here. And Kevin built that temporary platform that he put together just so we had a place to sleep and store things under for our first kind of down and dirty trip with the van. So anyway, it was very comfortable. Definitely could see some things that we've already started a list of. Oh yeah, we want to do that, we definitely want to do that, and we would like to have this, which was the whole purpose for us running out here and doing this, just spur of the moment without having any plumbing or electrical setup in the van, was to see what exactly, you know, get a feel for what we wanted in the van. And we thought this would really help us figure some of those things out, because there are a ton of choices and things that you can do. So we did have our site was what they call a partial hookup. We had power and water, and so we were able to run an extension cord inside the van, and we were able to keep our refrigerator going all night, and then of course charge up our devices and stuff. So that was nice. And then we just brought our Goal Zero, and we have lights that go hook into that battery, so we were able to have lights inside the van. So we kind of rigged that up and made that work. We're hoping to stay at a campground that is actually a state park, Kevin, state park. So hopefully we're going to get that set up, and it'll be a little better situation area. We didn't, I apologize, show you the site where we stayed last night. It just really wasn't that cool. So we'll do hopefully a video and kind of show you how we set up, you know, for our cooking and whatnot when we get over to where we're going tonight. And where we're going tonight is a really, really cool place. It is the northwest point of the United States of America, right here in our state. So anyway, we'll share that with you when we make that up there later today.
first trip, kind of the inaugural run with the van, and we decided to come up here to the Olympic National Forest, and we're in this area called the Hall of Moss, or Mosses, where these just big draping moss forests grow, because I think they get about 12 or 14 feet of rain a year, which is incredible amount of rain, but that's why they call it rainforest, I guess. So there's a really interesting phenomenon. I wanted to show you an example. This is a nurse log where you can't really see much of it here, but you can kind of tell there was a log laying here. There's a little bit of the remnants left, and the nutrients from the decaying log allow these trees as seedlings to start growing off the log, and the surviving trees continue to grow, but you can kind of see how the roots are up, you know, they're up off the ground like they're on stilts, and they're wrapped around what used to be the log that's kind of long gone at this point. And even, you know, you could crawl through there if you wanted to and go from one side to the other, but you can tell that this whole thing was this ongoing, like a bear cave right over here underneath that log is kind of that tree root. Kind of cool looking. And
oh yeah, that's awesome.
These trees have been here for a long time. You can tell by the size of the fact this one here has already died in the middle here, but they've all used this log as nutrient to grow off of, and then the log rots away after several decades and leaves these trees all standing on their tiptoes, basically. And so this is kind of called a colonnade, where you've got a number of these trees growing down this log after it's been gone. You can see the roots are kind of tangling out here and growing where the log used to be, and there's little bits of a rotten, moldering log left underneath here, decaying away. So it really makes kind of an artistic visual. And these are good sized trees.
Oh yeah, these aren't little trees, and there's probably 8 or 9 of them off this thing.
Yeah, and not as big as the big ones we've been looking at, but certainly good size. And I'd even be willing to bet that this log may have come through here at one point, or maybe they cut it because this is the path, and the other part of the log was right here, and more trees growing off of what's left of that part of the log. Really interesting twisted shapes of how this goes, and oftentimes the trees will grow out of the stump of an old tree, and it rots away, and then you're left with these really interesting features.
All day today.
No. What if I get? You won't. Look, see, eat that.
Hey, Mike. Okay. So we're pretty sure we figured out here on the Indian reservation, they tell you no alcohol and no marijuana. We're pretty sure we now know why, because to come out to the Cape, where everybody wants to come see this amazing vista, you have to go do this, which is, I'm pretty sure, the American Ninja training course. And it's slickery, mossy, and holy moly, In fact, I'm a little worried because the whole way back is all uphill, and I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, look at this stuff. It is
a roller coaster.
a roller coaster. Yeah. I'm trying not to fall off of.
I'm standing still when you look my way. It's clearer in my mind with every song that plays. That I wanna get to know you better. I just wanna know your heart. We can tear it up together. Everything we do is art. And when the stars come out, we can be ourselves.
So this says on this plaque that Cape Flattery is slowly retreating under the force of pounding waves. The Macaw Formation sandstone beneath your feet is riddled with sea caves. By sitting quietly, you can sometimes feel the whole cape shudder from the force of an exploding wave as it funnels into the caves below. Within the span of several hundred years in the future, the ground you are standing upon may not even exist. So I'm not sure why we're standing on it. I don't know how to get in.
Take a run and jump.
Right. How'd you break your leg?
What you doing there, Edith Ann?
I'm gonna, you know, I'll bet I could stand up.
I'm sure you could. You're supposed to say, and that's the truth. Honey, I shrunk.
Used to do that.
Honey, I shrunk you.
You're right. Honey, I shrunk myself. And how did she used to do that? She kicked her legs.
And she would say something and say, and that's the truth.
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's all just look silly.
And you don't now?
Hey! I thought it looked cute.
I don't have a problem like you do getting in. Whoops.
Oh my god, you look 12 years old. This was the area that we stayed on our last night on our first van trip, and it was called Nia Bay, and it was on the Indian reservation, and it was really cool. We opted to stay here, beachfront, which was a good and a bad thing. The good thing was there wasn't a lot of people there, and isn't that a really cool big Adirondack chair sitting there? That was pretty fun. But the bad thing was there was a lot of wind because the wind was coming right off of the Pacific Open Ocean right there. So that was a little bit of a downfall, but it was very cool, very neat. There's tons of fishing that goes on out here. In fact, our neighbor, here's the picture of him, caught a pretty big size halibut that he caught out there in the bay that day. And here's the van, as you can see. We are right across this little driveway area from the beach, which was very cool. We got to hear the surf all night. And you see our extension cord going to the van there. There's our view. Isn't that fabulous? And yeah, we ran an extension cord in. We had a water hookup as well, which we never used. But we sort of set up this little makeshift kitchen back here. So we just used our Coleman cook stove, a 5-gallon water jug that we tipped on its side with a little spigot that was kind of nice. We had all of our cooking kitchen gear there in that blue and white tub for our first trip out, just kind of playing with things. And we brought a little fire pit, which was super awesome and nice, kept us warm. And we had the van facing away from the bay because that gave us, we were able to open the back doors and have a lot of windbreak, which was pretty awesome. And it allowed Kevin to sit here, as you can see, with Rocky all hidden up underneath the bed and our little chairs, and we were able to just sit there and be comfy and cozy. So our last day, we actually headed out. We went home through Port Townsend, which is one of our favorite beach towns here in Washington State. It's just very cool and eclectic, and there's actually a Washington State ferry landing that's here that takes people out to the San Juan Islands, which was very, very neat, and even back to Bremerton. But the town is just really cool. It's very eclectic, got a lot of funky things in it, and we just took the day to kind of explore a few hours in there, and I think we stopped and had lunch at a neat little place. And it's just a neat community, lots of fun, cool things to see while you're there with all the little shops. And we definitely were happy to be heading home. This was Sunday, and definitely a lot of traffic, which is not our thing normally. But again, we went to a very populated area, and we knew that for our first shakedown because we didn't have, you know, all of our electrical and everything. Oh, so we pulled over there really quick. We went to this really cool rum shop that gave us free testings, which was very nice, but I didn't get a chance to film that for you. But anyway, we wanted to drive home here. We went along the Hood Canal, which is a very neat area. We've actually dove there before, but it was just kind of nice to take the van out when there was still a lot of, you know, area around, a lot of resources around. We didn't go too remote because we don't have water and power and everything hooked up yet in the van. In fact, we barely even had a bed set up in there. And just basically we're camping out of it, and just want to get a feel for how it felt. And I really hope you enjoyed this video and the journey that we went on for our first trip. Be sure and subscribe to the channel. We will post more videos about the inside of the van as we're building it out and the cool places that we're going to go travel to and see. It was just really awesome to be in the rainforest as well as the beach on this trip. So thank you so much for going along this journey with us, and may you have many, many adventures of your own yet to come.